Hello my wolf pack and welcome to a new video where I am going to talk about the new characters in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, I am getting some vibes from these people immediately and I want to talk about a few things that I have noticed to do with them. Now, a couple of these people I get bad vibes from. Now, you've got Arvin. Arvin is someone that's interesting. In fact, I'm going to talk about them all individually in just a second. I'm going to talk about a couple of just things that have kind of come to mind when I have looked at this. So you've got Arvin, look at what he's wearing. He's wearing the purple tie, the purple trousers, and if you look closely at the badge, it's the one with the grapes on. But when you look at Nimona, she is wearing the orange uniform. Now, looking at Clavel, you have got the orange uniform for Scarlet and the purple uniform for Violet. So does this mean that these are going to be exclusives? So exclusive to the game. So Arvin is going to be something to do with Violet and Nimona is going to do with Scarlet? Or does this mean that both schools exist in Paldea? Paldea would be obviously in the region. So that's the first thing that kind of has come to my mind. The fact that they are wearing these uniforms and, you know, we've seen in the trailer that there is specifically a school for the Scarlet and a school for the Violet. And I assume that they are version exclusives, but could we be seeing them both on the same island, for example, or they could be in different places, just swapped around in each game? I don't know, but just I thought the clothing situation was quite interesting to me here. Before we kind of talk about anything else. So first of all, we've got Clavel. Now he acts as the director of the academy, and since you're a new student, he will teach you many things about your school. So I'm assuming there's more to it than just this is probably going to be to do with the tutorial mostly. He can be strict, but he can also be kind. He seems to be a friend of Professor Sada and Professor Churro. So do they both exist in the same universe, or the professor's different for each game? I don't know. Like, this is kind of confusing me a little bit. So yeah, that kind of phrasing is a little bit confusing, but I could be reading just too much into this. Now, Clavel looks like he's going to be a bad guy, but at the end of the day, I don't think he is going to be a bad guy. The way that he kind of is there, I think it's just how he is, and in reality, he's actually going to help against the bad guys in the story. I don't think he's going to be to do with the bad guys. I think we had that aspect from Rose being the bad guy in the recent, and then in Sword and Shield, that's it. But I don't think Clavel will. I think he looks like he will, but I don't think he will be the bad guy in this game. Now, moving on to Grusha. Now, Grusha used to be a professional snowboarder, but he is now the gym leader of the Glacado gym full-time. 100%, I thought that this was a girl. 100%, I thought this was a girl. That's the second time Pokemon's done this to me in 2 games. First with Melly, who I thought honestly was a girl, and now Grusha, who is also a boy, but looks like a girl. Yeah. He's an Ice-type specialist who has Titan as his partner. He is usually cool-headed, but when battles get heated, he starts throwing the emotions he usually keeps pushed down. So I wonder if there's going to be more story to this than just kind of the standard gym leader saying that or it's just them giving them a backstory. It might just be them giving a backstory, to be fair. But to me, this looks really interesting. The fact that you've got Grusha kind of suggests to me that this is supposed to be an early gym leader. Obviously, they said in the video that you can challenge them in whatever order that you want, but this suggests to me that this is probably going to be one that's going to be close to the starting site. So this is the one that most people will probably gravitate to quite early on. Obviously, it's open world, and I'm assuming they're going to run it how it's run in the I think it's run in like one of the anime series where they pick Pokemon based on how many badges they have. So I'm assuming that each gym leader is going to have a team based on how many badges you have, which is going to be really awesome for getting all of that information out. For speed running, that's going to be a really cool thing. to look at who you need to battle when. I think that that's just going to be a really, really cool aspect, as if you're struggling with one gym, you can just go over to another one, then come back to it later on. So that's something that is really cool. I don't know what happens necessarily to the wild Pokemon levels. I think that's going to be a really interesting aspect to begin with, honestly, because, you know, how is that going to work? Because normally the levels increase as you go on around the region. Whether that just happens like it does in the wild area, where they naturally increase, and maybe more Pokemon become available, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Next up, we've got Arvin. Now, I quite like Arvin's design. I think he looks really cool. He looks like he's ready to go for a hike, and he looks like the kind of person who is always ready for an emergency. So, Arvin is an upperclassman at the Academy. He's good at cooking and is researching healthy recipes that can help Pokemon feel better. This is suggesting to me that it's going to work similar to kind of the potions and how they all work. He'll be asking you to help him out since he isn't good at Pokemon battles. So I'm assuming that he is going to get you to go out and collect certain things. There's going to be collection quests to do with him based on what he needs for his recipes, but he won't go out because he's not very good at Pokemon battling. I'm assuming that he's probably going to have one of those Fidos because that just makes sense for cooking. Also, can we just acknowledge that he is holding a tomato berry? And tomato berries, I have spoke about in a recent video on my predictions for Scarlet and Violet, that there was going to be some kind of reference to, I think it's La Tomatata, or something like that. It's a festival that happens in a village where there are tons, and literally tons, of tomatoes thrown, and there's a massive tomato fight in the village at the end of August every year. Now, that's something that I think this is potentially referencing to. I might be looking into it a bit too much, but, you know, the fact that he's holding a tomato berry, and that's one of the main kind of festivals, if you look it up online, you'll find that quite easily. So I think that that's definitely something to reference there, and it's a really kind of cool Easter egg if that is a reference. But I think Arvin definitely, I can't see you battling him too much. I could just see you doing like collection quests for him mostly. And you're probably going to build up the opportunity to buy recipes from him, which are going to make your Pokemon either stronger, like through EV training, or they're going to be able to be working for healing aspects. So potentially that could be that, and it could be cheaper the more that you do, and you get more different ones. So that's why I'm thinking potentially is going to go on with Arvin. I think it's just going to be collection quests oriented. Next up, we've got Jack. Now, Jack is going to have a close position in my heart because I am also a biology teacher, well, mostly a biology teacher. Actually, I'm starting a new job as a health and social care teacher soon, but yeah, I've been teaching biology for years. He's your homeroom teacher, and he teaches biology. He's very knowledgeable about Pokemon biology, and is the developer of the Pokedex app for the Rotom phone. So to me, this looks like he is the person he's the professor that's going to be to build the Pokedex. So he's not an actual professor, but Jack is going to be the guy that you are going to be speaking to about the Pokedex, about how you developed it and how much you've done. And I feel like Churro and the other one, I can't remember her name, Cherry? I don't think it's Cherry. But the other two professors, I think that they are going to be oriented in a different way. I think that they are going to be involved in a completely different quest. And I think this could be something to do with the treasure hunting quest that we've been alluded to potentially, or the third story within the Pokemon game. But I think Jack is going to be the one that's going to be involved with collecting your Pokedex and filling your Pokedex up. Based on the fact that he's made the app the Rotom phone. He has a slightly airheaded side to him, and he sometimes loses himself in his research. Now, I admit I'm a little bit airheaded sometimes, if not most of the time. But yeah, it's just really interesting to see kind of this aspect. We've got a cool new professor, quote unquote, and I think that he's going to be a fantastic guy. I think he's going to have a good personality, and I'm going to enjoy, you know, learning from him in the biology aspect of Pokemon. So yeah, that's Jack. Next up, we have got Penny. Now, Penny gives me vibes. Penny gives me bad vibes. She's in the same grid as you. She has a bit of a shy personality, and for some reason, she doesn't seem to come to the academy very often. Now, this suggests to me one of two things. One, that she is working with the bad team, and she's possibly trying to get some kind of intel. I'm assuming that the professors are potentially working at the academy. That would make sense. And I think that she is trying to get intel, and actually she is an older person. And I think it says she's especially fond of her fluffy Eevee bag and always has it on her back. I think there's going to be something in that bag that is going to be very bad. There's going to be like some kind of hacking device or something along those lines, or something to do with those, or like information that she's gathered from the academy. I get the vibe that she's like that, or that she is hiding a certain Pokemon. She could be to do with a legendary Pokemon potentially. She could be something to do with the treasure quest, and she's already kind of found out some information, and she's found this really rare ancient legendary Pokemon or whatnot. So I think that that's going to be... Penny's going to have some kind of storyline, and I think it's going to be either that she's part of the bad team, or she's to do with some kind of side quest that's to do with different Pokemon, a different like rare Pokemon. That's what I think that she is going to be. I think the shy personality could potentially be a ruse. Honestly, I think she will be part of the bad team. That's just the vibe that I'm definitely getting from her, kind of early on here. But I do love her hoodie. Her hoodie, I would love to have her hoodie if I'm honest. Yeah. Obviously, I'm assuming we get to battle her at some point. She's probably going to have an EV. If there's a new evolution, then I definitely think that she will have it. Especially, like, I would love to see, like, a ghost-type evolution or something, and this come from Penny, and Penny be, like, part of, like, this dark kind of dark aspect that's trying to cause something to do with the past and the future, based on the storyline. I could definitely see that happening. So yeah, that's something that I'm really, really interested in. Those are the new characters that we have been introduced to. I'm really excited to kind of see what more characters you get there. Obviously, we've been told that you have the standard 8 gyms plus the normal route that you would go through on a Pokemon game. You've got the treasure route, which I think is going to be very interesting to see as well. We've got a third route that we have not yet been kind of alluded to, unless it was mentioned and I missed it. But yeah, those are the characters, and those are the vibes I get from them initially, and kind of how I think they're going to tie into the story. I think there's going to be a lot of, like, for example, when it comes to Cavill. Is it Cavill? Is that his name? Clavel. When it comes to Clavel, I think there's going to be a lot of red herrings involved with him. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of red herrings suggesting that he is this bad guy that actually is going to end up being Penny, and that's my prediction when it comes to these Pokemon here. But I think honestly the designs are looking really cool. The game is kind of looking like fantastic, and I'm really, really excited to see what this kind of leads to personally. But yeah, that was just a quick, nice video to show you. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. There's going to be plenty more videos to come out where this has come from. But yeah, that's going to be all, so I'll see you soon.